Welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to be playing some games with the Control Yum Yum list. So the exact list we'll be using is the one that Guy used in the Hartford North America Championships. So when you build Yum Yum, there's two directions you can go at the highest level. So you can either go for what I'll call a Wild Night Yum Yum, which is a Yum Yum deck that really focuses on prepare for a Wild Night and having a lot of action cards. Or there is the more penguin heavy Yum Yum, which really focuses on getting the most value out of check the yellow pages, which basically says to reveal the top three cards of your deck, put all yellow penguins you reveal into your hand, and then also the penguin who might bring a +1, which basically says when it enters the huddle, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a penguin with fish cost two or less, draw it. So this specific Yum Yum deck here is based around the penguin version, which I do think is a stronger one currently. And so because you're really focusing on getting as many yellow penguins in as possible, it can be very selective on what you want to include that's not a penguin card. So there's a few non-yellow penguin cards in here. So let's talk about them real quick. So obviously have Yum Yum. So we're running 4 copies of that, right? Because that's the core mechanic of the deck, right? The core mechanic, just to review it real quick, is you play the Yum Yum, which ices all penguins. You have a penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes, which says whenever another yellow penguin in your huddle is iced, draw a card. And then you also have Lucky Penguin that says whenever this penguin is put into ice from play, you may pick a yellow penguin card from your ice with vibe 2 or less and put it into your huddle. So you play Yum Yum, you have some penguins on board, Lucky Penguin gets iced, you bring back like an extrovert, you draw a bunch of cards with Penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes, you play a really big board, and then you win from there. We're also playing 3 copies of Misplace. This is just because this deck's weakest matchup by far is Bizbunk, and so therefore, right, when you have misplaced, that really can help you in that matchup because you can lock out things from your opponent's huddle. This is especially good after you play Yum Yum. So you play the Yum Yum, then you play the misplace on Bunkus, and then that can really lock out your opponent from being able to counter your strong extrovert or whatever you're playing after that. Then we're also playing Bunkus, 1 copy to deal with blue mill decks. Um, Not sure if this is really necessary in the current metagame. So, right, we could swap this out for either the fourth pot stirring or for the fourth not your keys. Then we're also running, right, we're running check the yellow pages, which you talked about. We're playing bounce house rod just because, right, this is a much more controlling build. So having the option to kind of have a little more like play some important cards like a yum yum as a rod early and then pulling it back can be very useful. And then we're also really having the three not your keys, which is again, right, running 4 of this is generally considered standard in a yum yum deck. So right, to get all these tech cards in, we did have to make some cuts there. The other one quick interaction I wanted to call out was Penguin Who Zooms could actually be very interesting with Misplace in the Bizbunk matchup. So you can grab the Ascending Penguin early in the game, but then later in the game you might transition what your Penguin with Zoom targets. You know, if you're getting to those finals turns, you could then grab the Bismo or maybe the Bunkus. So that's a play that I do end up sometimes doing. Or if you're playing against Blue Mill, Penguin who zooms with Bunkus, it can be really detrimental because what you can do is you can basically, let's say you have like 24 or like 30 cards in your ice. You play Bunkus, then you Penguin who zooms your Bunkus, and then you play Bunkus again. And you can just really empty out your ice really fast. So even though the primary goal for Penguin who zooms is to get with Penguin who might bring a +1 and also just to boost your extrovert, this combo can be pretty powerful with these other tech cards in the right situations. Overall, I think I haven't been so I do think this is a very strong deck. Um and there are different versions of this deck as well. Like I think I personally prefer a little faster version, cutting out some of the maybe like the Bunkus and I'm not even sure what else I'd cut out. Just to put in a lot of maybe some more of the action cards, just to put in maybe Penguin who's late to the party. Like I do prefer my play style is much more the aggressive style. But yeah, overall, it is a deck where there's a lot of decisions, so I think it has a high skill cap. But there's also like a lot of randomness in the deck with the standpoint of like you do have this your card draws, check the yellow pages, and Penguin who might bring a +1, which right, if you keep missing with those, like just getting all your actions in your missed places, it can be very frustrating to play. So overall, I don't really I think its power level is high. I think its skill cap is high, but you still have there are just games you lose because you just get like really bad hits on your draw cards. But yeah, okay, so let's jump in some games and see if we're able to replicate Guy's success at the tournament. All right, so jumping in the first game. Okay, so we definitely don't want Bunkus. Um, and I think we have a pretty good curve going from Penguin the Falling Leaves into Lucky Penguin into Doesn't Mind Goodbyes. So the question is, do we want to keep the misplace? And I think, hmm, because if this is Bizbunk, right, we really need this card. So I think I'm going to keep it and hold it for confirmation that it's Bizbunk. I know that's kind of like a really anti-Bizbunk strategy, but I still think that it's good. So now we have a lot of two fish penguins. So okay, so I think we'll play the pot stirring down because right, we do want to actually ramp. So something I didn't talk about earlier was we really need to think about how we're going to deal with popcorn. And the easiest way to deal with popcorn is just to get the penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes out as quickly as possible to kind of neutralize the effect of popcorn. Because the only other way we have is the daydreaming penguin, as well as the what's it called, the not your keys. But daydreaming is very difficult with popcorn because you need two of them, and not your keys we need to get out to 5 to basically to 5 pudge because the popcorn will remove 1. So, okay, so the reason that's why I kept Penguin in the Falling Leaves is because I can maybe actually try to win this vibe check. Okay, so but looking at this situation here, I don't think I even need to win the vibe check because I have a nice curve, and so I think I'll just go for the card draw instead. So let's see. Okay, good. We hit the card draw, which is actually really nice because that's gonna enable us to just use this as a rod if we need to, because right. And this is also really nice with Lucky Penguin or with Extrovert on turn 5 on 5 pudge because we can go like um Extrovert and then immediately protect it from Gotham. So maybe if this is a biz bunk, right, then we'll probably actually be winning some more vibe checks and we'll just power out to kind of get ahead of the popcorn. But okay, so we do have the misplace. We're gonna hold on to the misplace until we get confirmation that it's not Bizbunk. Just because, right, without the misplace, there's really no way we can win that matchup. Whereas other matchups, we can still recover. So let's see what they're gonna do. Um, Maybe we'll get confirmation on what they're playing this turn. Okay, so it looks like it could be a Bizbunk, or I mean, it could also be a blue, right? It could be like the Bash Globe, the kind of the Bash Globe decks that are running, but we'll find out very soon. And it's not going to change our next turn anyway. Because we're not gonna so now we're definitely not gonna rod misplace. Okay, so it could be like the bash globe. The one thing is we really want to protect our misplace, we'd wanna not your keys, because the not your keys will enable us to kind of counter the adventure squad. But yeah, it might also be blue mill. If it's blue mill, we will definitely need to keep in mind that we put our bunkus almost at the bottom of our deck, which is gonna be scary because we're only gonna have a few turn like we're only gonna have that one turn to kind of get it. Okay, so we'll wanna play the lucky penguin this turn. Um I'm not crazy about I wanna keep the flying penguin, I think, because that will go well with the extrovert next turn, right? So we'll be able to go, extrovert flying into, penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes. Now I do really want a not your keys in this situation, so let's see. Let's see where this goes, because that's gonna tell us a lot about what type of deck they're playing. So, yeah, but we're gonna assume it's Bizbunk. Yep, okay, so it is Bizbunk. Okay, and it's, the Pudgy Man Rod variant. I still think that this is not the better variant of BizBunk, but that's something I do wanna play around with it just to get a little more familiar with it. Okay, so we have so the nice thing with the misplace with the penguin who's okay is if they get unlucky and get an ascending in here, then it'll be a very good one to grab. Okay, so also they are only gonna have a limited number of removal, right? Like with Adventure Squad, they'll be able to remove the, misplace, but so that's also why I wanna get the extrovert out there, kind of to threaten something, because, right, with whatever limited removal they have, I actually have 3 cards that are gonna be all very important for them to remove in my hand. Now there is one other ooh, another penguin that does mind goodbyes. So I almost wanna just play both of them because it's a little bit, um yeah, so, like, do I just wanna play? So I could just play the extrovert out there, right? What if they have a 'Cause I don't wanna rod the other penguin that does mango buys. So I think I'm just gonna play the extrovert because if I can slow them down, I think that's fine, right? If I force out a got him here, that just puts them one more turn away from the popcorn. Okay, are they gonna play anything big? No. So I'm gonna win the vibe check so I can hold the flying penguin back this turn. Yeah, because I think if they play the Gotham here, I'm fine with that because right, we're gonna get it back with Lucky Penguin. But yeah, okay. So the question I was pondering before was if I get the Yum Yum, right? The best thing is to actually play the misplace after the Yum Yum. And so we'll see. Okay, so there's just 2 Bunkus there. So not what I'm really looking for the Ascending Penguin at this point. Because also I don't even have an answer to their Ascending Penguin. Like if they just throw an Ascending Penguin onto the board, yeah, I have nothing I can do about this. So I kind of feel like um well, so what I can do about the Ascending Penguin on the board is yeah, so I guess this doesn't actually stop the got him because they could have played the Ascending Penguin and then got him me. But okay, they didn't do anything about it. But okay, so I'm kind of at the point where yeah, so could they just go crazy next turn, right? With the Bunkus? I don't think so. I think they need one more turn to set it up. Because right, if they go what? They go like Bashful Swordsman. Um hmm. Okay, so well, if I grab the Bunkus with the misplace, not this turn, maybe next turn. Do I just wanna like, could I just win just on the board holding down the Bunkus? I mean, I guess I could remove it with Adventure Squad, but I kinda think we just don't quite for the misplace yet. Um, yeah, because I don't think that they would play a Bunkus this turn because right, if they went even if they went Bashful Swordsman into Penguin who might break the fourth wall, which they can't even do because they don't even have it in the ice, that would be they're still not at the point where Bunkus comes out, I think. So I think we have one more turn. So I think we're gonna grab Bunkus with Misplace the upcoming turn. Yeah, especially now that they have double ascending. Okay. So yeah, so now even I would love a Yum Yum. Like if I drew a Yum Yum, oh no, because they're gonna go crazy next turn. Okay, so they did get the Penguin who breaks the fourth wall. Okay, so now yeah, so the question is okay, so we definitely have to play the misplace this turn. And so when I play the misplace, because otherwise, right, I'm gonna lose next turn for sure. I still am worried because I have no answer to these double ascending. So I really need I need a yum yum. Or I mean a second misplace. Okay, so now a bounce house rod could be very useful. Because right, we'll play this misplace here. Um, and then if we could get a bounce house rod, we can get the other misplace out. And even a not your keys would be good because a not your keys would enable us to protect the misplace from would enable us to protect the misplace from the adventure squad. So there's definitely a few good cards we could get. Um, yeah, if I got a yum yum, yeah. So maybe I should have played the penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes last turn. But okay, so we'll definitely play that. Um, and we have to grab the bunkus. I think. I don't think we have a choice. Um, okay, so then, um, yeah, I don't think there's really. I guess we're getting close to winning. So, but there's no point. I don't think we need to play the flying penguin. Well, okay, no, because right, they're gonna win the vibe check, and then if we get a bounce house rod, yeah. So I think we have to play the flying penguin. Yeah, we have to play the flying penguin as a rod because now if we get a bounce house rod next turn, we want to bounce a misplaced back and be able to play it. And right, we might lose the vibe check because the penguin who breaks the fourth wall will come out this turn. So um, yeah, so they can because they can't win this turn, but they can get close to winning this turn. Right, because they can go, yeah, so maybe we just already lost this now because um, they can fourth wall here, and then just fourth wall again next turn. Yeah, I think maybe there's nothing we can do about this because they're gonna have initiative. Um, right? And so should we have targeted fourth wall? But if we targeted penguin who breaks the fourth wall, um, I don't think that, yeah, because if they do have two penguin who breaks the fourth wall, one, two, yeah, because they can do double that. Yeah. So then all they need is they just need bunk. Yeah, they just need they'll win a rod from the vibe check, play a rod. So if they have Bismo in hand, um, yeah, or this. Okay, we have, yeah. So basically, yeah. So we're just gonna lose for sure here. So what could we have done differently? Because it's not like targeting the fourth wall. Like we just had no, we didn't see a single. Like if we had Yum Yum here, right? I guess we should have played the penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes out. If we would have played the penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes out, that would have helped us in, yeah. How, what would that have done? Oh, now we got the not your keys. Okay, so the not your keys would have helped us. I mean, right at this point, there's zero chance that they're just. Well, I guess if they don't have Bismo, they don't have Bismo, then we're still potentially fine. But assuming they have Bismo in their hand, we're done. But okay, so if we had the not your keys to counter the misplace, it would have been definitely in a good position. Well, but yeah, so okay, so we could have gotten a penguin that does mind goodbyes on the board instead of second extrovert. I also think that would have been right, just because had we drawn Yum Yum, right, we would have still been able to get that off. So definitely some mistakes on my part, but I still don't think that this would have helped this game. So yeah. So anyway, so I think this is just right. Even though we're tech to help to do good against Bizbunk, I still don't think this is favored with this matchup. So okay. Well, anyway, let's jump to the next game and see what happens. All right. Taking a look at the next game. So yeah. Okay. So what do we have here? So hmm. We definitely want to keep the check the yellow pages and the penguin who might bring a +1. So I do wonder about the penguin who zooms because we already have the penguin who might bring a +1. So I guess we could just go for hyper draw mode. I think that's. Do we want to keep that? No, I think we just go for hyper draw mode. Um, Now the only challenge with this is right. Check the yellow pages with the penguin who zooms doesn't really work. Okay, so we have two not your keys, so I think we'll use one of those as a rod. Um, but yeah, because we can play the penguin who might bring a +1 on turn two, and then we'll play it again on turn three with the penguin who zooms. But we do want to think about popcorn penguin. Okay, so first of all, right, this might be if it's Bizbunk. What's our plan there? Okay, so it's not Bizbunk, but okay, so we definitely have to deal with popcorn penguin. And penguin who zooms can actually be a really nice way. Okay, so this we won't need bunkus in this matchup to deal with popcorn penguin. So in general, let's see. So green, as long as we don't lose to popcorn penguin, green should be definitely one of the better matchups. I know when I played a lot of green, Yum Yum was a very difficult matchup. But I do think that this build of Yum Yum is about the worst build you could have going into green. Because into green, you want to just basically swarm and overwhelm. Now we do have the right, we have the penguin that does mind goodbyes, and we can protect it with not your keys because the removal that green has is walk the runway. So in that sense, we really just want to get to 6 rods as quickly as possible, which means we just want to play a rod every turn. And the nice thing is we'll probably be losing the vibe checks. But again, right, we don't really have a good way to deal with popcorn penguin right now. The only way we would have is if we can get them to play the popcorn penguin and then we play penguin who zooms to bounce back everything. But um okay, so now okay, so support a friend is not what I was expecting. Because typically in a green deck for the 2 drop slot, you're playing you're playing something else. So okay, so we got Lucky Penguin here. So okay, so option one is yeah, but okay, so I don't really want to use I could just use the penguin who zooms as the rod, but if I use the Lucky Penguin as a rod, I can draw one more time here. So, hmm. But I think the Lucky Penguin is just really good because the reason I like the Lucky Penguin is because basically what happens with it is right, if we do the Yum Yum, because I think this will definitely be a game where we're gonna play Yum Yum. And so as we're playing the Yum Yum, right, they might be able to counter the Penguin Who Doesn't Mind Goodbyes with the Walk the Runway. But in that case, the Lucky Penguin is gonna be able to, help us with that, because then we'll at least get something back. But yeah, so we don't really have a good plan for popcorn. I do also wanna be losing the vibe checks. Okay, so again, now here, we can't even play anything. So I think we need to keep ugh, I really want to keep the card draw, though. So do we could put the Penguin That Doesn't Mind Goodbyes as the rod, but that's really what we're building towards. So I don't really wanna do that. I really wanna keep Not Your Keys as well. So I guess, am I being too greedy with a card draw? So if they play a popcorn penguin, but again, right, a popcorn at this point isn't going to do much to us. So maybe we just hold? That seems crazy, but I think I'm going to do that. Um, I really wish, yeah. So maybe I should have done the penguin who zooms play. Yeah, I think that play actually might have been better because that would have resulted in me losing the vibe check. And now with tying the vibe check, I guess though, I guess it's not bad to play a rod if the game is just kind of going really slow. So we really need a penguin here, like a yellow penguin. And so much of the deck is yellow penguins. So, but I always feel like when you really need something, it's less likely to get it. But okay, so we're gonna start losing the vibe check here. So at least if we don't get it this turn, we're gonna get it next turn. Okay, penguin who zooms. Okay, so that's actually about as good of a yellow penguin as we're gonna get because it gives us one more chance at a card draw, which could be our rod. Perfect. So now we do that and we play the rod. Okay, nice. And now we'll play check the yellow pages this turn, and that should give us a big turn next turn. Because this is also now popcorn is gonna come out, right? And so if popcorn penguin comes out, then the nice thing is though, actually, because they played the supportive friend without the +1 counter on it, um, when popcorn comes out, the sliding penguin is not sufficient to protect the popcorn. Okay, full hit on check the yellow page is perfect. And even an extrovert is even better because next turn, what I'll be able to do is do extrovert into flying penguin to actually protect it from the Gotham. So we are still missing the yum yum. Right? Like right now I would feel really, really good about this position if we had a yum yum. But I do think I guess with the extrovert, we should be able to grow it faster. Well, we wouldn't be able to be like clean up good though, probably with the extrovert. So, um, yeah, okay. So, okay, they're at 10. So we still need, yeah. So we're gonna play the extrovert this turn. Then we're gonna draw two cards. But yeah, we really, yeah. So we're gonna draw two cards at the end of this turn, and with check the yellow pages, we'll draw more. But I just really, oh, and if I played the flying penguins, I should play the misplace as the rod. That was just playing too fast. I mean, I guess the misplace could. There might be some niche situations where that's gonna be good. Um, we do have Not Your Keys, which might be able to buy us one turn as well. So let's see. Okay, so we have a ridiculous amount of Penguin Who Doesn't Mind Goodbyes. I would love to get a Yum Yum going. Like, yeah, if I had a Yum Yum, this will be great because we would have such a good post Yum Yum hand because it's so full. Um, and do we want to get a second extrovert going? Probably not. I think we just want to kind of work on pumping this existing one and protecting it with Not Your Keys. Although, okay, so they're at 11. So we probably have two more turns because they could play all three cards, but then we use Not Your Keys anyway. And we actually technically the extrovert, if I say I have Not Your Keys for the points rich, an extrovert will outgrow the penguin whose garden grows easily. Um, so what if they play like a Romulus? So I really need to get the extrovert to be of okay, they didn't play anything. Okay. So okay, I think this is definitely enough penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes. So I think we will still play because there's no way we can play three penguins anyway. So oh, okay, yeah. So I think we'll play two. Okay, so now because like for next turn, the extrovert will be bigger than the points rich because we'll play two penguins again. I really want to get a doesn't mind goodbyes down though. Um, yeah, because if they have like a Romulus, yeah, it could get tricky next turn. So what would I really want like, if I had a Yum Yum, this would be a very good situation. Although I don't have enough ideally, with the Yum Yum, you'd have enough to play the Yum Yum. Yeah, this is where having the Flying Penguin would be good because really the if you ever get to 9 Pudge, it's amazing because you can play the Yum Yum and then you can use the Not Your Keys to protect against the Yum Yum. Okay, so if I can get 2 penguins down, so yeah, if I could get 2 penguins down, I could get bigger. Well, let's see what they play. Okay, the swordsman, that doesn't matter. 15. Okay, so I'm gonna have to play Not Your Keys this turn, right? So there's no way, but then, right? Because this is gonna get boosted, so they're gonna have 2 big things. So I think I just need to get my extroverts as big as possible, unfortunately. So no, yeah, so there's gonna be no okay, well, I'm gonna have infinite Pudge, but I don't have the Yum Yum. So yeah, so if I had the Yum Yum, so again, we haven't seen any of our Yum Yums. We've gone quite deep into the deck, but I think we're still okay because I think they don't our biggest extrovert at this point is gonna be what, 14? So even with the boost from the sliding penguin, which means that the penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes isn't gonna be able to yeah, so now, like, let's say that they had a so if they have an everyone stay clam, I lose to that. But if they have a cleanup good, I can beat that. Yeah, because 'cause they're gonna play cleanup good, and then I'm gonna play not your keys on the points rich. So, okay, so but we would have lost to everybody stay clam. So, but again, right, part of it is we just didn't get any yum yums. And so, right, we were pretty much halfway through our deck with no yum yum. But okay, so either way, looks like we ended up winning that game, which is good. So yeah, okay, so let's jump in the next one. All right, jumping into the next game. So what we've got here, okay, so we've got the Penguin of the Falling Leaves, so we definitely will keep that. Do we want to keep the Yum Yum is the question. So I don't really want to keep it in the opening hand, but didn't see a Yum Yum all of the past games. So it's a little bit like, yeah, because we could keep it and play it as a rod. Because even like, right, because when you do mulligans in vibes, right, the cards go on the bottom of your deck. So yeah, so we'll keep it, we'll rod it. And then, right, that means that we are now are essentially playing with 5 copies of Yum Yum in our deck because we have the 3 other Yum Yums, and we have the 2 Bounce House Rods. So, I'm not sure if that's right, but okay, so we are trying to again, right, the way that yellow can just really do well is just with because it has by far the best card draw of any deck, and so we have the 2 copies of Check the Yellow Pages. So if we can just somehow manage to get 3 Pudge on the board, that would be like we would do so well with that. Um, but again, right, we're missing that 3rd Pudge right now. I mean, I guess in some world, if we win this okay, so we're playing against another yellow. Okay, so we're playing okay, so now we definitely so we are going to need Yum Yum in this matchup for sure. Just because right, this looks like having Buddy Up in their deck, that's definitely an aggressive yellow. Okay, so we're looking for Yum Yum. I do think the card draw is gonna be very useful. So let's see what we draw here. Okay, but yeah, I think we can go 1 turn slower, because we're not really yeah, yeah, because then we can play the extrovert next turn. We're not really rushing. We're gonna win all the vibe checks because, right, yellow in general, like 4 vibe is actually a lot for yellow. A lot of the aggressive yellow decks don't even play. Okay, so it's maybe okay, so maybe it's not so aggressive. Okay, so it's Yum Yum Mirror. Okay. All right. Well, either way, okay, so we're not gonna win this vibe check then. Okay, so what do we need? So maybe Yum Yum is less important, and the Not Your Keys is very important in the mirror. All right, I got a little too focused on the Buddy Up because yeah, Buddy Up, like the Yum Yum can also play that. Okay, so we got another Not Your Keys. Oof. Okay, but we really want to play the extrovert down this turn. So I think I'll play the penguin who doesn't mind goodbyes as a rod. I mean, I really want that, but I think right, just because we have the 2 check the yellow pages, we should be able to get probably another penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes. I mean, that's 6 draw, 7. There's 3 in the deck. It's like, yeah, the next 2 towers may 10. Okay. Well, we also the bounce house could help us maybe. I really think not your keys is gonna be very useful. Plus here we get to lose the vibe check, which is nice. So the reason not your keys is gonna be very useful is because if they play their own penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes, we definitely don't want them to have that in terms of yum yum. I'm not really worried about using losing the extrovert here because I'm gonna A, just draw cards here. And so I'll be able to play the other check the yellow pages, and B, it's just like if we get our lucky penguin, right? We just need it in the ice for it to work with lucky penguin. Okay, so we got 2 penguins and another potential card draw. Plus we lost a vibe check, which is actually good in this case. I would have preferred to get a I definitely would have preferred to get a what's it called? A penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes. So, okay, penguin who zooms, that's good. So we can just power draw now. Um with a penguin who might bring a +1. But okay, so yeah, we really getting a doesn't mind goodbyes on the board with a yum yum. Those are kind of the key cards and the not your keys though. And then yeah, all these other cards are less important. It would be nice to have a hmm. Yeah, do we actually no, we don't really need the that much pudge to do the like not your keys and yum yum together. Okay, so daydreaming could be useful. But let's just draw. Let's see what we can get. Flying. Okay, so flying is good, and let's draw again. Yeah, I don't think we need the pot stirring. So do we want to actually remove the yellow wizard penguin? I don't think that really benefits us at this point. Ugh. Okay, so we hit the yum yum, which is not ideal because now that's on the bottom of our deck. So okay, so either way, we're gonna lose a vibe check again, which was what we want to do. Because if they play a penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes with yum yum, right, we have the not your keys to kind of counter that. And although I guess maybe we should play the daydreaming play penguin to remove the wizard penguin proactively. Well, only then it would only matter if they have double yum yum. Okay, so we get a bunch more card draw. Okay, and we get the lucky penguin too, which is good because we'll be able to pull the extrovert out after the yum yum. So we're really kind of so we are doing really well on the um we're doing really well on the card draw side because we have much more card draw than them, but we still have yet to be able to turn that into anything. Because right, we need to actually get the Baron over on our side. And so we could do that with okay, well now we certainly can't do that because that is too big. Okay, so bounce house rod is good. So we can get the yum yum. So should we just yum yum this turn? Because if we yum yum, yeah, I think we just yum yum this turn. I think it might be it seems a little premature, but right, if we get the lucky penguin out there, and then we also so what would we want? Because we want to play as little as possible for the yum yum, right? But I think we can yum yum this turn before they have a chance to do anything big, and we just have so many more cards in them. So this would be a good turn to yum yum. So I think we'll definitely play the bounce house rod and grab the yum yum, and then the question is, do we play anything else? But no, we wouldn't, right? Because we want it all for post yum yum. So yeah, so I think this is actually a good turn to yum yum here. So it's good we kept the yum yum. And again, so this is why this like slower controlling build, this is kind of what bounce house rod does for it. It kind of helps you like figure out this type of situation. Because now, I mean, maybe they got some card draw in their hand. Like if they got a prepare for a wild night, but okay, they didn't. See, now it's just going to be like so first of all, so there's like the yum yum itself. Okay, we lose one because right each person lost 5 cards. I lost the yum yum, so I actually lose 1 card advantage from the yum yum. But I'm gonna get the extrovert back, and they're gonna get a I don't know a wizard penguin back, right? So the extrovert is already bigger, or just a much more valuable penguin, which is kind of the win condition. Okay, and then the question is, they have a Gotham, but they don't have a Gotham. So that means now our extrovert is going to be our win condition. Now, right, maybe they have a not your keys for it. So we're just going to keep drawing. Oh, and then Bunkus. Bunkus actually, this is an interesting. So like this deck actually is one of the few decks that you can actually do some nice stuff with Bunkus, even if you're not even if you're not what's it called? Not really playing against blue. Ugh, okay, so we missed the other extrovert. So do I just want to go? I think I just want to go all in here. Okay, because next turn, what I can do is, right. So Bunkus will cost what? I'll have 8 rods next turn, right? Or 9 rods. So I only have to remove 3 from my ice. So I can put check the yellow pages and Yum Yum back. Um, yeah. So Bunkus can actually become a 9 or 10 vibe penguin. Okay. So do I just want to get rid of? I think I do because right. Or like, what if they Yum Yum? I think this is worth. Yeah, because actually, like losing the vibe check is good. Because if I lose the vibe check, then I'll just be able to draw 2 cards, and I'd rather draw cards than get rods right now, because I'm really looking for a penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes. Okay, so let's see what they get here from the card draw. Okay, so from the card draw, they're going to get a snow globe, a lucky well, they're not gonna get the snow globe, but they're playing a snow globe. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. I was not expecting that. But okay, so they got a lucky penguin and something else. So maybe there's gonna be another board clear coming up. So I think having Bunkus, so this might be a good turn just to drop Bunkus. Because I have okay, so misplace. Misplace is interesting. So what could I lock out with misplace? Because I don't have the penguin that does mind goodbyes. So if I played that on um yeah, if I played that on penguin that does mind goodbyes, yeah, and then I could actually set up for the win, I think. Yeah, so I think I'll play misplace on the penguin that does mind goodbyes, just because then, right? Well, I guess I'm thinking about Yum Yum. So I do still think I want to just go for the win here, just to set up the win. Um, but right, okay. So if they play like some sort of like not your keys, that could become a problem for us. I wish I could have played the misplace on the not your keys. Um, yeah, because if they play not your keys here, this will be a problem for us. So, right, because they not your keys, the extrovert, I guess our bunkus will kind of grow bigger. Now, I could daydreaming the yellow wizard penguin. So maybe misplaced I should have waited for the not your keys to come out and do it afterwards. But again, and also like now if I yeah, so by stopping the penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes, yeah, because if they get one more yellow pudge, right? If they destroy our extrovert, I would definitely get rid of the wizard penguin to keep them off the pudge. But okay, looks like we came out on top at the end, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, so cool. All right, so let's think about. So we played 3 games, and we did. So against the Bizbunk, we lost. I think that being said, I think because we didn't draw any of the Yum Yums or Not Your Keys, we had no answer for the ascending. Now, I guess that is kind of a knock on the deck build itself, because right, because we're not running Gotham, that can kind of be a problem. And so then other than that, we got yeah, we won 2 games against Green, which is generally a favorite matchup, and then against the Mirror, where I think we basically really prioritized the card draw, and that paid off for us. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.